of Texas versus Marvin Harrison Smith III. Are you Marvin Harrison Smith III?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Are you the same Marvin Harrison Smith III who was alleged to have committed a DWI second on or about the uh, 18th day of July 2020?
Yes, sir.
All right. You are represented by Mr. Cornelius Cox.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, I need to discuss several things with you before we proceed. First of all, this is a criminal proceeding in the state of Texas, and you have a constitutional right and protection, the right to remain silent. That means you do not have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer any questions. You don't have to submit paperwork, especially documents that bear your signature in which you confess or admit to wrongdoing. Do you understand you have the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Are you willing to give up that right and proceed in this matter?
Sir.
Pardon me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, you also have a right to a jury trial and a right to confront witnesses. Those are basic constitutional rights. That means that you could ask for a trial and have a jury decide whether you are guilty or not guilty. You also have the right to ask questions. You and your attorney could cross-examine, challenge any witness who would testify. But in proceeding on a plea, then you're giving up those rights. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also have the right to have this in public courtroom. Because of the COVID pandemic, we're doing these hearings by video conference. You, as the accused and the state of Texas, both have an individual right to have this matter heard in public courtroom. Now, because of COVID, we're not doing it. We're doing it by video conference, and both you and the state uh, are required, or you can consent to that. Are you willing to consent to holding this hearing by video conference?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
And Mr. Edelman, are you also consenting to the video conference as opposed to the public courtroom?
Yes, sir.
All right, I inform both of you that this matter is placed and is being streamed on YouTube. So the in this matter, Mr. Smith will be presenting you with documents that you have reviewed with your attorney. If you have any question along the line, please say so. But we're going to start off showing you this first document. Now, all of the documents, with one exception, will have this basic information you're looking at. That format, cause number 643212. The state of Texas versus Marvin Harrison Smith III in County Court number 5. The state has consented to video conference, as we just mentioned. This is in writing. Mr. Edelman, did you review and sign that document?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Smith, you see that document. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Second document we're showing you is, again, the introductory information at the format at the top. This document is called Discovery Acknowledgement. There is a law referred to as Article 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure of Texas. This law requires that the state, the prosecution, provide to you access to and the information, documents, everything that is required by law that also allows you and your attorney to make an informed and reasonable decision. Did you see this document? It is signed by your attorney and by Mr. Edelman for the state.
Yes, sir. I did.
All right.
I did.
I will be signing that in approval. The third document we're showing you is again with the information format at the top. This one is titled Defendant's Consent to Video Conference. That's your written document where you yourself and Mr. Cox have reviewed it and agreed to it. Did you in fact sign that?
I did sign a copy of that.
Okay, good. That means that this is a copy I'm being shown, and the one that the original that you signed will be in the process of being placed in the file. The next document we're showing you, again, with the information format at the top, this was titled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. Uh, this has three introductory individual sentences. The first one says that you don't need me, or you're waiving the right to have me read to you the uh, charging instrument. Big words for the papers that accuse you of DWI second. In fact, the second sentence, you declare that you know you're charged with driving while intoxicated second. Now, the third sentence says that you hereby enter a plea of nolo contendere to the charge of DWI second. Did you see this document and understand it?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Now, I'm going to review some of this, but to begin with, let me inform you and remind you, rather, that the rest of it is divided into 15 paragraphs or sections, each with individual information, and all of it is important. The number one is the range of punishment. DWI second is punishable. There's a check mark next to the declaration that says the punishment for DWI second is a fine from $0 to $4,000 and jail from 30 days to 1 year in jail. Did you see and understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Number two is particularly important. It reminds you again, this is in writing, and you have reviewed this, that you have a right to a jury trial, a right to cross-examine witnesses, and a right to remain silent. You declare that you freely and voluntarily waive or give up those rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number three says that it addresses the issue of mental health. Have you ever had any mental health problems or issues?
No, sir.
Have you ever been given or taken mental health medication of any kind?
No, sir.
All right. Number four talks about nolo contendere. Did you understand that nolo contendere, for one, is taken as a guilty by the court, and you're declaring here that you believe it is in your best interest, after reviewing the information and evidence and listening to Mr. Cox, your attorney. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you ever been involved in the sex offender registration program?
No, sir.
All right. Number six says that as it reminds you that I, as the judge, have the authority and the responsibility to accept your plea bargain or reject it. And if I reject it, then you can withdraw your plea, and no statement that you've made or anything that you've signed would be used against you. Also, I remind you that as the judge, I can give you any punishment in the range of punishment for DWI second, even if my punishment is greater than what you've agreed to. If you, if I give you a punishment that's greater than what you've agreed to, again, you're allowed to withdraw the plea and start all over, as we said a while ago. If I give you the punishment you've agreed to, or less, then you will not have a right of appeal unless you have previously filed motions and the court has ruled on them, and you can appeal those. Where were you born, sir?
I was born in Wurzburg, Germany.
All right. Were you a child of a individual on military duty?
Yes, sir.
All right. So then I find that you are a U.S. citizen. The rest of these paragraphs are all, as I said earlier, they're important. You're getting probation. Do you understand that probation is a written, legal, binding agreement between you and this court? And it requires you, I will, as part of the sentence, I will give you a jail punishment, but it will be suspended so long as you live up to 100% of the conditions of supervision. If you violate those conditions by failure or intent, refusal to comply, the state can ask me to give you a hearing after proper notice, and at which time, based on the evidence, I can go ahead and sentence you to jail and put you in jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number 15 in particular applies to a risk and needs assessment. Since you have reviewed this document, am I correct in believing that you are waiving the right to a risk and needs assessment?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions about this document?
No, sir.
Mr. Cox, any questions?
I don't know, Your Honor.
All right. This next document, again with the format of the information, identifying information at the top. This is my declaration. Says that the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. The fifth box will be checked and I will sign the declaration saying this is a plea bargain case and the defendant has no right of appeal. An appeal is essentially a right for you and or your attorney to demand that a higher court review the official record of this proceeding and the evidence. The official record is being prepared by Ms. Kaylin Rivera. That right to have the case reviewed for whatever challenge you wanted to make, because this is a plea bargain, as part of the plea bargain, you're giving that right up. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions about that?
No, sir.
The document now being shown to you is titled Application for Judge-Ordered Community Supervision and Probation. Did you review this carefully with Mr. Cox?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand the commitments and declaration that you're making here under oath?
Yes, sir.
All right. Questions?
No, sir.
All right. And you did sign this document?
Yes, sir. I did sign a copy of that.
All righty. It's also signed by your attorney. Now, the information here is incomplete in front of me, but let's ask a couple of questions. Are you employed?
Yes, sir, I am.
With whom?
Wells Fargo.
Okay. And what is your income? Give it to me yearly or monthly, better. Total income, whether from one bank or whoever the world is paying you.
Currently believe my income to be annually around 50,000.
So we're looking at 4+ per month. And that is, are we talking about net or gross?
Gross, Your Honor.
All right. So now, did you fill out the information here about yourself, your employer, supervisor? You're a full-time employee, obviously. Did you put that information in?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
All right. Now you have 3 references. You put that information in for them.
So I only completed the first field for one reference, Your Honor.
All right. We'll need you to finish everything that's in this form. All right. Have you served in the military?
Yes, sir.
And what did you serve in?
United States Marine Corps Reserves.
Okay. Are you married or single?
Single.
And do you have any children as dependents?
No, sir.
All right. Now our next document should be the plea agreement. All right. On this document, I'll be marking the first box there. Of course, it identifies you and the case number. I will mark on there that you have been informed about your right to remain silent. Also, I'll be marking the citizenship. The first box, the defendant is a U.S. citizen. Now, the following section has 5 boxes stacked vertically, and it makes declarations on your part. Did you review that with Mr. Cox and check those off?
They were pre-filled, but I did review the check boxes, sir.
All right. Do you have any questions about what it says there that you're declaring?
No, sir.
All right. The state is proceeding with DWI second to that charge How do you plead, sir, officially?
No contest.
All right. You understand that a nolo contendere, no contest, is sufficient for me to accept that plea and find you guilty. Do you understand that?
I understand, Your Honor.
Now, there's a box in this the section that follows that. You are to appear within 7 days to provide a thumbprint pursuant to the Code of Criminal Procedure 38.33 there at the office. The staff there will assist you. You have to put a thumbprint on the documents, the judgments, etc. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Based on your plea of no contest and the evidence, I find you guilty. You're sentenced to 1 year incarceration in Bexar County Jail, which is probated or suspended for a term of 18 months. You are fined $800 plus court costs. You will complete 72 hours of community service restitution. You will, in good faith, enroll and complete the DWI intervention program, the DWI Victim Impact Panel Live, a TAP TAIP evaluation and options. For 9 months, you will have ignition interlock device, a monitor, placed on your motor vehicle. For the entirety of the 18 months probation, you will not have any alcohol, not one drop. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The supervisory fee will be $60 a month. Now, let's talk about a couple of things, Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
How much schooling did you finish, sir?
So I completed my bachelor's in 2019.
Okay, so you're well educated, you're well paid, but you've now got DWI 2 on your history. The worst thing that can happen to you is that you're driving and drinking and you kill a member of your family, whoever that might be, or a loved one. The second worst thing that could happen to you is that you're drinking and driving and you kill an innocent person, because then you're going to prison. No question on either one. Alcohol can really cause you some serious problems. I hope you find a way to get that under control. We're going to help you with some of these programs, but ultimately it's up to you. Please give serious consideration to what I'm saying to you, because alcohol is very serious. People get addicted to it. They get used to it. I have told many people I have 5 first cousins that are dead because of alcohol. They died in their 40s, early 50s. It is a serious situation that only you can change. You're the only one that can handle that. The consequences of this include one thing that bad news is that the state of Texas is going to impose something of a very serious fine on you in addition to all of this. It's a separate fine the state of Texas hits you with when you committed a DWI or a DWI second, and you're not indigent. You are not indigent. You're fortunate in that score. Mr. Edelman, do you have a recollection of what the additional fine is going to be from the state of Texas for DWI second?
I believe it is $4,500. However, I believe that is only imposed if the sentence is executed.
Okay, be aware of that, because if you wind up having a final conviction, they will hit you with a $4,500 fine. Is that clear, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
I hope that's an additional motivator for you to put a stop to this. You've got everything going for you in life. Don't let alcohol ruin it, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions, Mr. Smith?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Cox,
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Edelman?
Nothing from the state, sir.
All right, Ms. Diaz, do you need to visit with Mr. Smith?
Yes, Judge, please.
Okay. Patricia, Mr. Smith, we're going to place you in breakout this time with Ms. Diaz. She has to get a bunch of information from